With the undercard bouts completed, it's time to move on now to our main event, Seldon versus Tyson for the WBA Heavyweight Championship. Tyson was diagnosed with bronchitis in July, and it forced a postponement of the WBA Championship until tonight. During that time, the Seldon-Tyson rivalry got as hot as the Las Vegas summer. While the Seldon camp accused Tyson of being unprepared in July and faking the illness, Team Tyson responded that the postponement only delayed Seldon from getting, quote, the worst beating of his life, end of quote. Well, the final countdown has begun to the Seldon-Tyson fight, and this is what it was like here in Las Vegas as time for the showdown approached.
I'm taking Mike.
Mike Tyson's not going to defeat me. Mike Tyson is not going to take my title from me.
Have you seen someone with a jab like Seldon's?
Have you ever seen me fight before?
Tyson, third round.
My opponents come into the ring, but they crawl out.
From the root to the fruit, Mike Tyson will regain all 3 belts.
Go Seldon.
Mike, what do you think of Bruce Seldon?
I think he's in a lot of trouble.
I've never knocked out opponents. I made them quit. I made them quit.
Tyson.
Seldon.
Tyson.
Bruce, of course.
Mike Tyson. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for the official weigh-in for our main event, champion versus champion for the WBA heavyweight title. Here is Iron Mike Tyson. 219 pounds for Iron Mike Tyson. Please welcome Bruce Seldon. 229 pounds for Bruce Seldon. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen. Bruce Seldon, Mike Tyson.
Now it's time to back up all that tough talk in the ring. Coming up, Bruce Seldon makes his second defense of the WBA Heavyweight Championship against Mike Tyson, who is attempting to reclaim a title he won 9 years ago. Back down to ringside once again, Steve Albert. Steve.
All right, thanks, Jim. While Mike Tyson has remained one of the most compelling and recognizable celebrities in dramatic contrast, Bruce Seldon is almost anonymous, even though he's a world champion. In addition, Seldon's camp feels that the perception of their fighter is unfair and inaccurate. That since the back-to-back knockout losses to Oliver McCall and Riddick Bowe some 5 years ago, Seldon is a different person. The swinging nightlife days are over. But the lingering memory is that of Seldon's chin succumbing twice to Bowe, a bout that lasted all of 108 seconds. Not only that, but more recently he was wobbled by Tony Tucker and Joe Hip. Then there's the matter of attitude and intimidation. All of the solid preparation and pre-fight words can become pointless, meaningless once the moment of truth arrives. As you'll recall, Frank Bruno seemed strong, relaxed, and confident until that long walk to the ring changed his expression to total terror. But Seldon's handlers insist that won't be the case with their fighter tonight. Why? Because he's been in Tyson's presence so many times and fought on several of Tyson's cards. Therefore, he's emotionally prepared. But being in Tyson's presence is one thing. Being in the same ring with him may be quite another. Once again, Tyson a huge favorite, whopping 22-to-1 underdog. Although we heard just a moment ago he dropped to 16-to-1, which is in any event just unheard of for a champion. Because of that, is Tyson under more pressure to perform than Seldon? Freddie, what's your read on that?
No, I think Tyson's pressure is on himself, and nobody can be as cruel and as tough on Mike as Mike is on himself. He aspires to ring greatness. Make no mistake, he wants immortality. He just doesn't want to be a champion. So he's a lot of pressure on him to perform. Also, you got to think that once you're the champion, as Bruce Seldon is, the pressures to keep the championship are great. And so there's a lot of pressure on both sides. If I have to compare, Tyson's pressure on himself is relentless and vicious. He must make himself fight good, and that's what he does.
All right, so what are the keys to victory, and how would one contrast their old styles with their recent styles in the ring? And for that, we turn back to Bobby Ches.
Well, the keys for Mike Tyson, there is no new style. Mike Tyson goes in, gets inside, digs to the body, lands with power to the head and body. No new Mike Tyson, same old Mike Tyson, maybe even better. For Bruce, though, we have a new revised Bruce Seldon. A tremendous jab, maybe the most improved and best jab in the heavyweight division. And better defense, a good lateral movement, a great athlete. We're going to draw some things up here on the telestrator and show you what both need to do to win this fight here today. Because Bruce Seldon does have a shot. Here you're going to see Mike Tyson first, hands up, even on the outside. But now what he does, he bends his legs when he comes in, arches his back, and you watch him. As he comes into his opponent, he's always down and underneath. You watch here, look how low he is, under Frank Bruno's shoulders. He'll land body shots first, with his legs bent, body shots around to the right, left hook, he'll come up top, he mixes them up. And he'll keep unloading up and down with right hooks and left hooks until he's got his opponent on the retreat, as you'll see as we roll the tape. There's the right hand to the body and the hook up top. This is what Mike does so well. Get inside, keep his opponent going back. Now watch the motion. Mike has always got his man going backwards, pushing him back. He can't hurt Mike when he's going back. Mike's always going forward aggressively, and now his defining punches, the uppercuts. They are his signature series, boy. He puts them on, and when they get land, that's it. They're clean. It's over. That's the beginning of the end right there. There's the surgery without the anesthetic. He's in pain, pure pain. Bad intentions, Mr. Tyson. Now let's watch what Bruce Seldon has to do. Bruce Seldon, even though this is Tony Tucker, he's got to block that jab because Mike's going to jab. He's got to pick it off with his right hand. He's got to stop it. He can't allow that jab to get in there just a gimme. So you'll watch Bruce Seldon. He'll do what he has to do. He'll pick that jab and fire his jab back. Now he's got to fire, not just with one, but with at least two. He's got to step forward in a forward motion, close the gap, step forward with that jab, push his opponent back here, Tucker. But tonight it's going to be Mike Tyson. And then he follows with the right hand. But, you know, it's not just this. He can't stay here. He can't stand in front of Mike Tyson. He's got to spin out to the side, very simple, and get away. He's got to do this all day if he's going to be effective.
All right, Bobby, thank you very much. Right now, before the ring walks, let's throw it over to Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Steve. I am with a very interested bystander tonight, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Evander Holyfield. First of all, Evander, let's congratulate you. I know it was a big thrill and quite an honor for you to carry the torch a couple of weeks ago in Atlanta.
Well, thank you. It's very exciting. It's a big moment in my life that I really enjoy.
Let's look forward to this night right now. What do you think about Seldon and Tyson?
Well, it's going to be a good fight. Both of the guys have two different styles. You know, Tyson aggressive fighter, and Bruce is one of them type of fighter that like to move and pump the jab. So it should be interesting.
Do you really believe that Seldon can give him a fight?
Yeah, I feel that. You know, the whole thing is that it's the individual himself. I don't make a decision. What I think someone can do is their desire and their determination. I think he have the skills and he have the talent. It's just up to the man himself how bad he really wanted to be the champ.
If you were Seldon tonight, what would be your strategy based on his style and what he can do?
Well, no doubt. You know, he have to at some time fight to get respect, but the most important thing, use the thing that he do well is jab and move around and then boxing from different angles.
Now, of course, there have been a lot of rumors that you will fight the winner of this, particularly if it is Tyson. So you now have a vested interest in this fight. You kind of got to then be pulling for Tyson, correct?
Well, I'm looking for the best man to win. I kind of think that Tyson is more favorite, and whatever happened would happen. I just hope to fight the winner.
How much has Tyson been on your mind since that cancellation back in 1992?
Well, it's been back and forth. Tyson is proving that he's one of the toughest guys in boxing, and the press has built him up to be the man to beat, and that's no doubt. I want to be the heavyweight champion of the world, so. It's kind of there, and we're just looking forward to it.
Evander, your assessment of Mike Tyson since he has returned as compared to what he was before he left?
Well, I think that's not a big difference. Tyson was knocking guys out before he left, and he's knocking guys out now that he's back. And I don't think it's a big difference. I think the big difference is when he fights somebody who actually going to fight him back and going to be able to endure some of the punishment that he dish out and be able to give him a little bit.
Now, a lot of fans very concerned about you, Evander. Of course, you had the stiff heart. You were forced to retire. Then you came back. You've shown yourself well. You had the 3 fights with Bo, and then you fought Bobby Ches until his eyes gave out. And but there is a lot of concern about your health. Can you update us on how you're feeling and just exactly your medical condition if you were to fight Tyson?
Well, you know, I'm in good shape, and just like I told people, you know, I was healed. You know, God has blessed me, and only thing that I think gonna take things off people's mind is when the fight happened, me coming out victory.
All right, Evander, we look forward to it. I'm sure you'll be watching with a lot of interest this evening.
Thank you.
All right, let's take it back over now to Steve Albert.
Okay, thank you very much, Jim. You get the feeling that Evander Holyfield will be sitting here taking notes during the Tyson Seldon affair. And we're at the MGM Grand Garden in Las Vegas, Nevada. The crowd filling up. A lot of gamesmanship, as you might expect, would be going on at this particular point. The crowd very, very anxious in anticipation. The ring walks about to get going. This is the door of Mike Tyson. A lot of stalling tactics going on right now, so it might be a few minutes before he emerges from the door. Of course, Mike Tyson not accustomed to being the first man coming into the ring. We saw it against Frank Bruno. That was for the WBC Heavyweight Championship, but now he's fighting for the WBA Heavyweight Championship against Bruce Seldon. So we'll stand by. Back here with Bobby Ches, former two-time world champion in your own right. Bobby, what about stalling tactics? How do you perceive this?
You know, for me, nothing could bother me, but here's the thing. Usually the champion stalls and leaves the challenger in the ring hanging. That's the strategy, that's the tactic, that's what's been done. Not the challenger stalling in the dressing room while the champion is still back there with him. He comes out still whenever he wants, so if he waits, the champion can wait further. Personally, it doesn't matter to me. It's time to go, and you go. You walk that walk and you fight. You know, but this is unusual for me. I've never seen it. Not with a challenger.
We're told now that we're close, folks. We're close to having Mike Tyson ready. What do you think of all this gamesmanship?
You know, we've had a lot of that during the years of the Ali Championship that I went out. Ali never cared who went first. He didn't care if he was a champion, he went or not, because he'd just come out and entertain everybody if he was first. But it is a stalling tactic. Here, both men are champions. It's a curious thing. They're both champions. And Tyson certainly has the name. So maybe he is right in waiting, but he's still a contender tonight. He should come out first. I don't think Seldon will keep him waiting much longer. And I think this will get underway. One of those little mishmashes that happens in boxing. A lot of importance is put to it, as Bobby says. Really doesn't make any difference for both fighters. They go in and they have to do their duty no matter who is kept waiting. I've never seen it affect the outcome of a fight or the outcome of one fighter being steamed up over another and finishing it. I wouldn't have liked to made Joe Louis mad. I wouldn't have liked to made Foreman mad. You know, those big punches listed, I would have been there early. I mean, you know, but this is a fight where perhaps Liston has a little bit of reason to wait.
Well, a lot of frustration continues here at the MGM Grand. The crowd up to this point waiting very patiently for the ring walks, first of Mike Tyson and then of Bruce Seldon. Again, behind closed doors. Back there in the alleyway. Oh, the door has opened. And Mike Tyson is ready to make his entrance. Here he is. Making his way to the ring first, just as he did in the last bout, March 16th. The crowd beginning to erupt, sensing his arrival. Technically, he is the challenger. There's the game face. No nonsense, all business attitude. His extreme focus and readiness for this, his fourth fight since being released from prison. Mike Tyson. His entourage, Rory Holloway and John Horn and Jay Bright and Stacy McKinley and so on and so forth. His body gets more rock solid, chiseled, and impressive looking with each fight of late. He claims he is so prepared and hungry that many feel he'll unleash an assault the likes of which Bruce Seldon has seldom, if ever, seen. He's still underneath in the back of the building, has yet to make his way into the actual arena where the crowd can physically see him. They see him up on the big screen, but they don't see him in person yet. can see the demeanor, determined Mike Tyson. The crowd can now see him. Very serious, but yet not angry, I would say. The look, the expression on the face of Mike Tyson as he makes his way through the ropes. You hear the reaction from the crowd, not overwhelming, the reaction. He's a 16-1 favorite. You recall Buster Douglas, a 32-1 underdog, but he was a challenger. The over-under is it must go 4 full rounds. Tyson will receive a reported $30 million for this fight. And now we're set to take a look at the WBA heavyweight champion, Bruce Seldon. It has become an integral part of the show surrounding a Mike Tyson fight. His opponent's expression and demeanor walking towards the battleground. Let us watch.
And in the red corner, he is known as the Atlantic City Express, the WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Bruce Seldon. This is killing me. All I see is the competitor. Make sure you're ready for the steady sticking move. I move while I'm changing. Black, my mode on attack. It's a fact. I'm a warrior, prepared for war. I arrive from the shore with skill you believe. So see what is due. True champion, son. I'm the one you didn't want to go against just yet. Getting steady like Rocky Cocky. Aggressiveness, a perfectionist, ready to clash. On a match out, do if you got me. You got the chance to change your mind when it's time for the rumble. You're the one who's gotta crumble. Knock it out, son. Represent self. It's another belt. Express, y'all. Better clear the track. Time now, y'all. Ain't no turning back. Knock it out, son.
They're holding a picture of his mother behind him. His mom passed away a few years ago. Never really got to see Bruce Seldon win a world heavyweight championship, and the memory of Bruce's mom an inspiration to Seldon.
Got you ready to quit. Fighters on the run and the with a high. For 3 months I let it slide. Now the end of the ride. Stocks in Las Vegas and let it fight. Yo, you see this hype. You got the people in tight. That's right, I'm really boy, and you gotta do too. Just accept the way my man is coming through. You would think he's insane. On your knees, praying God, let me miss this train. Knock him out, son. Represent self. It's another win. It's another belt. Express, y'all. Better clear the track. Time now, y'all. Ain't no turning back.
And now the crowd can see him, and he looks, as you can see, very cool, very calm, and very relaxed. The complete opposite of Frank Bruno when he walked in. It's almost too relaxed. His manager, Rocco DiPersia, right there. Physically, as you'll see, Seldon with the sculptured Adonis-like physique as this crowd awaits the arrival into the ring of Bruce Seldon. He's almost there, finally. Both fighters appear very warmed up. Both fighters in great shape physically. And here comes Seldon with the belt. Again, light, polite applause for Bruce Seldon. Nothing overwhelming. Don't hear any booing. Will Seldon be able to withstand it if Tyson comes out fast right at him, pushing and bullying inside with a barrage to the head and body? Can he survive that kind of onslaught? We'll find out soon. And we are set for the figures. The tale of the tape. Tyson turned 30 this past June 30th. Seldon 29. Seldon just over 6'1". Tyson 5'11 and a half. Seldon 229, his lightest weight in 3.5 years. Tyson a trim and ready 219. He was 220 for Bruno, and the 6-inch reach advantage for Seldon. To the WBA rules for this heavyweight championship. 10-point must-scoring system. 3 scoring judges. No standing 8 count. Keep in mind, the 3 knockdown rule is in effect. Only the referee can stop the fight. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the final round. If an accidental foul occurs before the end of the 3rd round, the fight is ruled a no decision. If it happens after the completion of the 3rd round, they go to the scorecards. So here at the MGM Grand Garden in Las Vegas, finally, we are set for the official introductions. Let's go to our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we present our main event of the evening, at this time, I'd like to ask you to rise for the singing of our national anthem. In the ring, my pleasure to introduce to you a gentleman to lead us here tonight. Please welcome the talented Horn Records recording artist. How about a hand for Desi?
So proudly we hailed at your twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts were so gallantly streaming, and the Rockies red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you very much to Desi. Well, fans, as always on Showtime Championship Boxing, a donation of $5,000 will be made by Don King Productions and Showtime to the United Negro College Fund, the National Hispanic Scholarship Fund, and tonight to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. This donation will be made in the name of the fighter of the night, who will be selected by an expert panel of judges at the conclusion of tonight's action. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the MGM Grand Garden here at the world's largest hotel, casino, and theme park for the featured attraction of the evening, brought to you by Don King Productions and King Vision in association with Showtime Event Television, Corona, La Cerveza Más Fina, and the MGM Grand. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the World Boxing Association, President Gilberto Mendoza, Supervisor Julio Castillo, along with the Nevada State Athletic Commission, The chairman is Dr. James Nave. Commissioners Nat Carasali, Dr. Elias Garnham, Luther Mack, and Crispin Rivera. The executive director, Mark Ratner. Physicians at ringside, Dr. Flip Pomansky, Dr. James Game, Dr. William Berliner, and Dr. Margaret Goodman. Timekeepers at the bell, also keeping count of the knockdowns. We have Al Bisick and Jane Broadfoot. Introducing to you our judges, scoring this bout from ringside, Chuck Jompa, Bill Graham, and Dave Moretti. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening, champion versus champion. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance, boxing fans joining us around the world, it's showtime! With the WBA Heavyweight Championship of the World scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing, introducing our referee in charge, working in this his 137th world title bout, Richard Steele. Introducing to you first, in the blue corner tonight, challenging for the title, entering the ring wearing his traditional solid black trunks and fighting out of Catskill, New York. He weighed in at a ready 219 pounds with an outstanding record of 44 wins, only one defeat. He has 38 big wins coming by way of knockout. He is the youngest man ever to win the heavyweight title and the last unified in the ring by beating the champions of the WBC, WBA, and IBF. Tonight's challenger is the current WBC heavyweight champion of the world. Please welcome the former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, introducing the one and only Iron Mike Tyson. His opponent across the ring is the champion defending his title tonight, fighting out of the red corner, entering the ring wearing white trunks with blue and red trim, fighting out of and representing his hometown of Atlantic City, New Jersey. He weighed in at a ready 229 pounds. With a record of 33 wins, 3 losses, he has 29 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight he is making the second defense of his title. Please welcome the current WBA heavyweight champion of the world. He is known as the Atlantic City Express, introducing Bruce Seldon. Once again, a referee in charge, Richard Steele, now to give instructions.
You see your glove. Okay, I gave both fighters their instruction in the dressing room. I'm cautioning you again. Obey my commands at all times. Anything below these belts, I will warn you twice. The third time, I'll take a point away. Obey my command, shake hands, good luck.
A very loose-looking Bruce Seldon, a very serious-looking Mike Tyson. Seldon, the anonymous champion, almost being overlooked in the excitement of the possibility of Tyson versus Holyfield soon. But he says that anonymous thing will change tonight. And here he is, the walking powerhouse, Mike Tyson, who says his objective simply is to throw punches at all times. Richard Steele set to bring them together. Here we go, round one, scheduled for 12. And Tyson comes right out, right into Bruce Seldon.
Bruce has used that jab, but already got hit with a hook. He's got to step to it once in a while.
A left hook by Mike Tyson already got to Bruce Seldon.
Every once in a while, you got to step into the eye of the storm to get to Mike Tyson, okay? Bruce Seldon cannot think backwards, jab backwards, or punch going backwards because he's not going to be effective enough to keep Mike off.
And Mike Tyson eats up fighters that go fighting backwards because he lunges forward, and that's where the power is for them.
Tyson coming forward, swing and a miss with the right hook attempt. Now there's the left jab. Not much sweat from Mike Tyson. Has not worked up perspiration. Seldon has. Seldon flicking that trademark left jab. Again, Tyson boring in, and then Seldon decides to hold on. That looks familiar.
So when Mike's down in a crouch, he's got to spring up. Bruce comes down and then comes up into Mike. Maybe he can be effective enough to hurt him, but not going backwards, not at this range.
But Tyson is not bobbing and weaving and is not in that crouch that we were talking about. He's standing way outside. Look how he stands straight up there. Now that's not...
Oh, down goes Bruce Seldon.
Come on.
That was a punch high on the head.
It was a punch high in the head, Freddie. You're exactly right.
Hand, and it was stunned him.
With about 1:40 remaining in round one, Seldon goes down for the first time.
He had a nice long rest there, but he has felt...
Back comes Seldon. And Tyson with a left hook, and Seldon is down on his stomach.
Steve, there are two unalterable truths in boxing. If you have a great chin, you don't have a great chin, you can't get one. You can't buy one or learn one.
Oh, forget it. He's wobbly.
You can always punch, and that's it.
It's over in the first round.
1 minute and 9 seconds were left, and he was not going to weather the storm. If he came out, he'd have been flattened. I mean, flattened. He had nothing left, no reflexes. Fight stopped. He stopped himself, really. I think his indication to the referee was no more.
And now they embrace as Tyson consoles Bruce Seldon.
You know, I was talking with some people before, some guys that have sparred with Mike, and they said, Bobby, he hits that hard. And you know what? If you don't have a great chin, as I was just saying, you can't get one. And when you can punch, you can always punch. It's the last thing a fighter loses. Mike is the quintessential puncher's puncher, and Bruce Seldon does not have a great chin. That's been pretty well documented. Not necessarily a bad chin, but a little questionable. And when the chin meets that punch, guess which one loses?
Would you categorize this as an embarrassment of the title fight? I mean, the guy just didn't even get started. He's out. He starts by one right hand right high on the head, not even on the jaw. And the next was a left hook.
You know, I would say he came and he tried, but I don't think he employed the right strategy. I said every once in a while you have to do certain things. For Bruce Seldon to win with what Bruce Seldon has, and we're taking into consideration his deficits as well as his assets, he had to move, jab, move, combinations, and spin off Mike. He didn't do that. He ran into a couple of shots, one high in the head and then the left hook flush in the face. But for me, I would think a fighter would have to have and possess a good chin, Freddie, some power, and get inside, sit in the eye of the storm to combat it.
You know, what I'm saying, Bobby, is in the last two fights, we saw two little kids that didn't have any business in with top fighters, and they gave it their all. Their heart was there. They fought. They laid it out. I never got the feeling that Seldon laid anything out here. He came in like getting away from the punch and then getting hit, went down.
Well, the best thing that I can offer right now is that Seldon lasted longer than Peter McNeely.
Oh, God.
And that said,
Peter who?
Gosh, that is not what I would say a satisfactory heavyweight championship fight. For the simple reason I don't think it was a one-fighter fight. It was Joe Louis in the first round. Bang, that's it, over.
The Seldon's corner strategy was very defensive. They were yelling, tie him up, move away.
We're going to take a look at
the first knockdown.
We're going to take a look at the first knockdown. Mike's coming in, and he throws a couple of shots, and they don't land really clean, but you're going to see one of them. You're going to see one of them land on the top of his head, as we'll watch it here. Mike always has his hands high, springing, trying to come down under. He hits him on the top of the head. He hits him just on top of, and the softest part of your head is the very top of your head.
Bobby, the crowd is reacting. It looked like at first that Steele was waving it off, and they didn't see a punch.
He hits him, yeah, you know what? Yeah, but in the right, it looks like his head punch glanced off the top of his head. It looked like his elbow almost slammed into the head in the same place, but I think it was just the right hand. We'll look at it one more time. Watch the top of Bruce Seldon's head. All right, now Mike's coming in. He senses the kill. There's the left hook. Bruce goes back to the ropes and down. The crowd is booing. I hear him in the background. I'll tell you why they're booing, Steve. They don't believe those were legitimate shots for heavyweight champions to be knocked out with, and I have to somewhat agree. I don't think, you know, Bruce represented a good quality heavyweight type chin there.
I agree with you, especially the first knockdown. It was a glancing blow off the top of the head. If anything, he got hit by the elbow of Mike Tyson. And look at the legs of Seldon here, wobbling and staggering.
You know, this is what we talked about. Riddick Bowe said he wanted to offer Mike a challenge of beating his minute 40. Well, guess what? He did.
David?
Well, I think a lot of people, again, are going to feel a bit shortchanged here by what happened. Let's go to Jimmy Lennon for the official announcement. Jimmy Lennon, Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute 49 seconds of round number 1. A referee in charge, Richard Steele, stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout is the WBC heavyweight champion and the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
I agree with the fans and their reaction. A very unpopular victory here from Mike Tyson. Of course, not Mike Tyson's fault. Bruce Seldon going down in questionable fashion. More so the first time, of course, than the second time he went down. So this crowd very unhappy. We're set with the fight. Dr. Ferdy Pacheco standing by in the ring.
All right, Mike Tyson, one minute, certainly one of your fastest, I think, outside of McNeely.
All praise be to Allah. I bear witness there's only one God, and Allah that God, and Prophet Muhammad is his messenger of peace and blessings be upon him. And custom auto, we got 2 down, 1 to go.
Now, we're looking at slow motion, and we're going to show you the whole round as soon as we can see it. Here we go. And you can watch a right-hand punch. It seemed like an elbow hit him as well as a punch.
Well, I'm
all right, this is the whole fight. Go ahead.
I'm just trying to basically set him up, put my jab out there and set him up and try to cut him off. You see I'm cutting him off pretty well, though. Slipping punches.
The jab never kept you off.
No, but it was a penetrating jab. It was very hard. It hit me in the head a couple of times, and I felt the power of it. And I was just trying to be elusive enough and move. I had pretty good anticipation, so I moved just enough time. The punch doesn't miss me by much. By a tenth of a second, the punch goes over my head, so I'll be in position to punch. And if it missed me from so far, I wouldn't be able to punch, like right there. But I'm punching pretty hard these days. I punch harder than I did when I was younger.
Are you satisfied with you're not crouching as much as you did when you were very young? You're crouching, bob and weave. You're coming in pretty straight up here.
But I'm looking there. I'm crouching, but I'm a tested look.
Now you are.
Like you see these guys behind me being biased over here. You know what I mean? Let us handle our business.
Go ahead.
They love me, yeah. And I'm just looking to setting the punch up, and he's jabbing and moving pretty well. And I needed that in my life. I needed someone to move, because most fighters are fighting that way. But he was fighting as he was moving. He was throwing hard punches.
Now, did you think that punch was going to knock him down high in the head?
It was a hard punch.
Yeah.
And I kind of hit him with my elbow as well.
Yeah. It was a strange punch, but he did go down flat. I mean, he just flap. Now, he got up. He wasn't in the greatest shape. Did you sense you could just finish this?
Oh, well, you know, that's my MO. Once I get the man hurt, everything's reckless abandon.
That was just one left hook.
Well, praise be to Allah. He got up and he's safe.
Now watch what he does. Yeah, that silliness of the crowd is hollering. Fix it. Guy gets hammered twice, almost under the canvas. They think it's a fix. Yeah, right. It's the same thing that happens anytime. It happened to Joe Louis. It happened to anybody who knocks out people in one round. That's tough luck. They don't like it. That's the way that is. Listen, you're on your way to ring immortality. I know I said it before, the pressure you put on yourself is worse than anybody else, because you want to be an immortal. And I think you're on the way. Holyfield stands in your way. That's got to be a nice fight.
I look forward to it. Praise be to Allah. I'm going to do well, and I don't think there'll be no problem. Holyfield's in for a lot of trouble.
Thank you very much. It's always good. Now to Jim Gray.
Thank you very much, Ferdy. I'm here with Bruce Seldon. Bruce, can you tell us what happened?
Well, you know, I came in to fight. I'm in great shape. You know, like I said earlier, I wasn't intimidated by Mike Tyson at all. You know, I came out to fight. I came out here to win. But
well, there were those who would question that. This whole audience is hollering fix and so forth. It didn't look as though you were that badly hurt, Bruce.
Well, I was hurt. You know, Mike Tyson, I didn't realize how hard the guy could hit and how fast he was. You know, and you know, I trained with great guys that got me in tremendous shape for this fight. But Mike Tyson is a very fast type of guy. You know, they've been saying how Mike Tyson, he's a destroyer, and I'm a witness to that. You know what I'm saying? He's a very fast, very hard, powerful guy. You know, I know I've said throughout the press conference and all that I wasn't going to be intimidated by him. I wasn't going to perform like his other opponents and whatnot. I didn't choke up. As you see, I did not choke up. But
You seem all right now. You were just knocked out just a few minutes ago, technical knockout. You seem all right now.
He rattled me. He really did, you know, and I just couldn't see my vision. When he dropped me the second time, the first time he hit me, he just grazed me on the top of my head, but he had a little elbow that came behind it, and that's what kind of did me in for the first knockdown. And the second knockdown, he caught me so flush on the chin that it just like rattled my eyes, and I couldn't see clearly. So, you know, there's nothing I can say. You know, I worked very hard to get to this point. I've been a professional fighter for 10 years. I won the heavyweight title. I went up against the man who's considered the baddest man on the planet. I think that says a lot for my accomplishment.
How do you feel right now, though, Bruce? All of these fans and the audience out there hollering, fix.
Well, I don't pay attention to what the audience say, but how
there would be a concern if you took a dive. That would be the next question.
I'm definitely not going to take a dive. I was coming in like I said, I won the heavyweight title, and I wanted to hold on to that crown. You know what I'm saying? I treasured that crown. I still have the belt, but I don't have the title any longer. So, you know, that meant a lot to me, and it wasn't a fixed fight. You know, I didn't train 12 weeks. You know, I didn't train 12 weeks to come in here and take a dive. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't coming here to take a dive.
Yet you're aware, and people will say that with a $5 million payday.
Yeah, people will say that, you know, but also, you know, before tonight, I'm already a millionaire. So it's not the money that meant anything to me. You know, it's definitely not the money that meant anything to me. I'm already a millionaire. So, you know,
Bruce, how about not fighting in a year? Did that contribute to any of this, and should you have fought?
Maybe, you know, I felt as though it didn't have anything to do with it, you know, but maybe it did have something to do with it. I feel very hurt, you know what I'm saying? I feel very bad. You know, I know that there's a lot of people out there that
we see Mike Tyson leave the ring. Continue.
Yeah, you know, I know that there's a lot of people out there that were counting on me and that were saying that I'm the best and I was going to do this and I was going to do that, and I let a lot of people down. But all I can say is, you know, I'm sorry. You know, I hope those people who were with me in the beginning and will still be with me now today, you know, and I'm sorry that I let a lot of people down, but I tried my best, and I hope that that's all people were asking of me, was for me to get in there and try my best. I tried my best. Mike Tyson is a very great fighter, which everyone knows, and he caught me fast.
Bruce, thank you for answering the question.
You're welcome.
All right, let's bring in Richie Steele. Richie, you have the difficult task in these things. It did not appear, at least to the naked eye and the unprofessional eye outside of the ring, that Bruce Seldon was in a lot of trouble and got hit that badly. Your thoughts?
Well, the first time he went down, I went to wave it off, but I looked at him a second time, and he was not getting up. So, you know, I'm not a medical doctor. I can't tell just how bad a person is really.
As you look at the monitor, Richie, tell us what you're thinking here. First knockdown.
Well, I thought he missed a punch. I went to wave it off, but I looked at Bruce again.
You were waving it off that it wasn't a knockdown?
I was attempting to wave it off. I looked at him again, but the fighter seems dazed. He seemed hurt, so I had to pick up the count.
Then it comes down to the next knockdown after you give him the count. Again, it didn't look as though it was that difficult of a blow, but at the end of the fight, clearly he caught him.
Yes, you know, I looked at the fighter. His eyes was in bad shape. His legs was very weak. Matter of fact, he stumbled back, and there was no way I could let him continue under those conditions.
Again, it looked as though he caught him, but not that bad. Certainly, we've seen much, much worse, Richie.
Well, yes, I've seen a lot of worse, but I'm not one that can tell just how hard Mike Tyson punched. I mean, when a guy of his magnitude can, you know, hit a fighter, he hurts him, you know, who can tell just how much Seldon can take or how hard the punch was. We can't answer these things, so that's why the fight was stopped.
Richie, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back down to Steve Albert.
All right, Jim, Richie Steele just can't seem to escape controversy. Tyson's third fastest knockout in title fights. The first one, 91 seconds against Michael Spinks. The second fastest, 93 seconds against Carl the Truth Williams. And now 149 of round number one against Bruce Seldon. Bobby Ches, what do you have for us in terms of a highlight?
Well, we're going to show you here is the pretty much what winds up being the knockout punch. It's the left hook. Mike Tyson always doing what he does, and that's going in. He's going into forward motion. He's going, he's chasing, and he likes to bend his knees and spring up. And what you'll see he does as we roll the tape, he springs up with a big hook right here, and he hits Seldon. But it's not even a big hook. I mean, that's a half a hook. Bruce goes back into the ropes, and I think it's partially a problem of this. When you have a bad chin, your heart can't be that brave to put your chin in harm's way. And I think Bruce decided he knew he couldn't win the fight. Why bother taking a beating all night? And enough done, because I don't believe he was as hurt as that wobbling and that stagger Lee he was doing later on. I'm sorry.
Very similar to the Michael Spink situation back in 1988 when he went down 91 seconds into the fight. And I think the fans have a very legitimate gripe. Those who are displeased and screaming in the background that they feel that something was amiss, something awry. 89 seconds for McNeely in the first round. Mathis Jr. lasted 2:32 into the third round. Bruno 50 seconds into the third, and now in the fourth, 1:49 of round one. Jim Gray with Evander Holyfield. This should be interesting.
All right, thank you very much, Steve. What did you think of this? Clearly, as we were just talking here, it looked like one blow went over his head, and then Seldon went down.
Well, where I was sitting at, it didn't look like a clean blow. But the most important thing...
It looked like a clean blow?
I said it didn't.
It didn't.
But, the most important thing is that, Tyson won and looked like, had the two best fighters fighting against each other.
Would you agree with the fans and what we all have seen here that this was bad?
Well, when the man come to fight, he come to fight, and the other man got to fight too.
Did he come to fight, Seldon?
Well, I don't know what Seldon came to do. Tyson came to fight, and you can't take that from the man who came to fight. So, the crowd is not pleased, and, they have a right to, they pay their hard money, and they want to see a good fight. And,
they didn't get their money's worth tonight, did they?
Well, you have to ask them, but,
But you'll give them their money's worth November 9th?
Well, I'm looking forward to, ain't nothing like two men wanting to win.
You didn't learn much tonight, did you? You really can't tell much based on what we saw, can you?
Well, it's not so much, looking at one fight. I've been watching Mike for a long time. I respect his boxing ability. I know what he brings to the table, but most important, I bring a lot to the table too.
We look forward to it, Holly.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back to Steve Albert.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. If you're keeping score at home, Bruce Seldon was in the ring 20 seconds longer than Peter McNeely. The fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco, standing by with Don King.
Well, a short night for Tyson, certainly 20 seconds longer than McNeely. Wasn't that kind of a bit of a surprise?
Well, not really, because with Tyson, he's the quintessential fighter, and it's not longevity, it's quality. And this is what everyone pays to see. No matter what they say, the explosiveness of Tyson, his dedication, his commitment, his focus. When he goes into the ring, he goes in to destroy. He do not go in to make friends and influence people.
Well, he's never done that. How about the Evander Holyfield fight? We just heard him right next to us here saying he thought he could put up a much better fight. I do, too. I think that's going to be a blazing good fight.
I do, too. I think it's going to be a super sensational fight because Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson are like arch rivals, the same as Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. They don't particularly like each other. It was coming up in the same time, and like sibling jealousy, it was always one or the other, and Mike Tyson didn't like that because he wanted to be the only man on the planet Earth that he looked at as the baddest man on planet Earth. And now he's got another opportunity to prove that and to vindicate that. On the other hand, Holyfield wants to do the same thing.
If my filters are right, you're telling me that this is officially an announcement. You are going to have this fight in November. It's going to be Holyfield versus Tyson. Am I right or am I wrong?
You are right. There's going to be Holyfield versus Tyson. It's the one thing that they both don't like each other. They both feel that each one has been standing in their way. Holyfield is like a, believe it or not, Ripley. He's going to reach down real deep to like a mother picking up a 4,000-pound car to save her baby. He says he can do it. He's going after Tyson with a vengeance. Tyson says he's waited all the 4 years he's in the penitentiary. He says the only thing that hurt him the most is that he could knock out Holyfield first. So now he's got an opportunity for both of these guys going.
You know, Don, the first word that sprung to my mind, and you and I have seen a lot of heavyweight championship fights, was embarrassment here. I was kind of embarrassed for Seldon. What's your overview? What do you think of this as just a fight? 10 years from now, we're looking at this fight. What do you think of it?
I think it's a good fight. You got to understand, when you face Tyson, a guy gets in the ring, he gets through the ropes. It takes a lot of courage. Everyone sitting on the ringside that ain't getting hit by those thunderous blows, they can have repartee and rebanda, prognosticate, predict, say what they would or would have didn't, but they ain't facing the man. I mean, and so this man is now a better fighter than he's ever been. As you can see, he's more committed. He does not waste any energy now. He just goes about his bit. The upper body movement is good, and he wreaks havoc on whoever he gets into the ring. And he wants to give the people one undisputed champion again. So what this other man did was he fought. I thought he fought a good fight. He was trying. He was throwing his jab out there. He was doing the best he could. And what many people say, it's easy for the critics to sit on the sidelines and say that if you did this, that, and other, if you was that, but they're not in the thick of the battle. They're not in the center of the ring. So, I mean, you always find that, you know, the ups and downs, and that people are somewhat cruel because the man got hit with that left hook. The one that he went back down on his face, they can't say nothing but that left hook hit him on the jaw. You know what I mean?
I don't think there's any doubt about the stoppage of the fight either. I think Seldon wanted it stopped as much as anybody else, and that was the end of that. But a sort of you wanted more, you know, one round isn't enough of seeing Tyson. You want to see him in a real combat. I think we're going to get that with Evander Holyfield. I think it takes a whole lot of punching to get Evander Holyfield
Well,
out.
I'm going to tell you something. You know, in a prize fight, it goes from 1 to 12. You know, you can't fix a fight. You can't go out there and say you got to fight so many rounds in order to fight. You go out there and you do what you can and what you do best. That's what Tyson's reputation is on. His whole career has been, the majority of them have been one-round knockouts. He's a guy that goes out to the fight. When he lost to Buster Douglas, it shocked the world. You know what I mean? He shocked the world. So then but he came right on back and regrouped, and here we go again. Mike Tyson, exciting fighter.
You and I were on the alley circus. Now we're on the train with Tyson through an adventure of heavyweight. So let's go back to Steve at ringside.